Most women are doing everything right, eating clean, exercising, taking supplements, but they are still dealing with brain fog, migraines, hormone imbalance, and fatigue. What if I told you one of the biggest disruptors to your health isn't your diet? It's what you're putting on your skin, cleaning your home with, and breathing in every single day. Today's conversation might completely change how you look at your environment and your health. Welcome back to the podcast. I am Dr. Evelyn, an integrative naturopathic doctor here in Washington, and I help women and men in their 30s, 40s, and beyond optimize their hormones, brain health, and longevity. So they don't just survive midlife, they actually thrive in it. And one thing I see over and over again in my practice is women trying to fix internal problems while being constantly exposed to external triggers. Today, I'm bringing on someone who has been doing this work for over a decade. Kim Zangar, also known as Non-Tox Nana, is an advocate for toxin-free personal and home care products. She spent the last 12 years helping families reduce toxic exposure in their daily life. What makes her story powerful is that this isn't just professional, it's personal. Kim has dealt with lifelong allergies and chronic migraines after a head injury at 15, and that forced her to start questioning what she was being exposed to every day. Now she helps simplify what we can feel overwhelming and gives people a clear path to safer, healthier living. So Kim, welcome to the show. So let's get back. You've dealt with migraine and allergy for a long time. Was there a specific moment where you realized this isn't my body, something in my environment might be contributing to this?
Well, definitely with the allergies, and I also later in life it developed into asthma because everything you breathe in affects you. But I didn't learn about it right away. We are really fooled by a lot of the products in the store that are kind of misleading, that do actually have some bad ingredients, only they say they're all natural, but they're not really all natural. And this is what I've learned. And so with asthma, it's really important. You notice it even more what you breathe in. It's because I'm the kind of person, if I walk in a bathroom and they've cleaned with bleach, that will give me an
Mhm.
asthma attack. Where other people might not feel what it's doing to them, but there's all the cleaning products we use are just like smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. So we want to protect our health. And they find that women have more lung issues than men because they do the cleaning. So I found healthy cleaning products just over 12 years ago. And once I found them, I want to tell the world, right? Because it made a difference for me. I want to make a difference for other people. And then as part of my name, Non-Tox Nana, I also I have grandchildren. So to me, I want to find everything I can for them that's a better choice because it leads, as you know, it leads to so many things when you do the right things. Because what goes on your skin is in your system in 26 seconds, or what you breathe, like candles. Some of the things that people have in their house, plugins are pretty scary.
Yeah.
They just pick up at the store and plug into their wall socket thinking they're hiding odors when they're really doing damage. So if you have asthma, you notice that when you walk into a room and you have to turn around and leave. But a lot of people
Mhm.
don't know because they don't have the instant reaction. And my allergies started when I was 8 years old. That's when they were first identified.
Yeah.
When I was sick, the doctor said, give her some aspirin. And by the time I got to the doctor, my nose was running like crazy. And they realized she's actually allergic to aspirin, so we shouldn't give her that. No, but that was
Mm-mm.
unknown, those things you come across. So my headaches were actually, when I was 16 years old, I was hit by a drunk driver and had a head injury
Yeah.
and had a concussion. So I suffered from headaches for years and I'm allergic to aspirin and I'm allergic to anti-inflammatories. So all the normal medications that people just go to the store and pick up, I can't take them. So when I can find safe alternatives that get rid of my headache, I feel like I've won the lottery because it's
Oh.
such a change for me when I would have to miss things. You could be at a kid's birthday party and have to leave. Well, I did because my migraine was so bad, but now I get to go to all of their gatherings. So that's pretty special for me.
Tell us more because when also I do think about a future generation that nowadays, for example, kids have developed more allergy, asthma, any type of skin reaction or even allergy, and then we have to do elimination diet with dairy, gluten. cows, milk, etc. And we have to really substitute with something more cleaner because of environment from the industrial cows got antibiotics and any other industry about fish, marine, etc. So the environment become a little, I would say severely, and to the point where some one of us like don't even know about is we can feel it, but at the same time we may not listen to our body. And some other people have that chemically sensitive body that we can feel more intensified compared to other based on the antibody in the body. And that do lead me to have to find different experts and products to make sure the household is super clean. Like in the eco, we use a castor soap and we don't use any conventional product like Thai anymore. And I know sometime out there, the industry may like, what is going on with this podcast when we talk about a clean environment? But this is so crucial in our conversation for sure. Yeah. And you talk about candle plug-in. I remember back then, I didn't know anything better. The house smelled pretty old. And then I remember it just dampened smells. And then people would say, just use a candle, a little wax, and put them in the waxer, and then just make them warm up, and then that will make the whole room to become smell very, very beautiful. But now we know is have a lot of scented perfume, fragrance, and a lot of product that we use. And tell us the story of how do you get to know to find the clean products out there? How many trials and error you go through to get to where you know that you can adapt to the different birthday party out there. People use different things, but you're not allergic to those anymore.
Well, I think a lot of the things, like especially the cleaning products, everything we have is totally clean. We have a very, very, very strict company, which is Pure Haven, and they have so many products that they refuse to use. Number one, fragrance. If something says fragrance on it, I won't get it. Anything, and I'm not talking about my company. I'm talking about you go to the store, you turn the ingredients over and it says fragrance because fragrance is a word that can hide 3,200 different chemicals. So where you may not have a sensitivity to one chemical when you buy a certain product, the next time you go back, it could have different ingredients with the exact same label. We don't use anything. All of our products are totally every ingredient is listed, so you don't have to wonder. So if you haven't, people can have a specific allergy even to a clean thing. Maybe they're allergic to lavender, so they would want to know if that's in there. It's not hidden by another word. It's open. We also, all of our entire line is gluten-free. So sometimes people don't realize if they're gluten-free, they think it's what they eat, but as we know, it's not just what they eat, it's what they touch. So it's when they put on a lotion and a cream or a shampoo and a body wash, it's really more important that those are gluten-free for them so they don't have a reaction. And your skincare, your microbiome on your face affects the microbiome in your gut. So it's so simple. And I like what I can do for people is when they find out, but just use gluten-free for an example. They find out they have a gluten sensitivity and it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming because they're changing everything they're eating. And if they have to change how they clean, what they put on their body, and they have to walk down the store, that aisle with all the laundry detergent, it's just overwhelming. So
It is.
we have safe products, so we can take them through a step at a time on whatever they need to do. And what do you need to do first? What affects your body every day? So it's nice to have those tools to be able to help people.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for sharing with us. And I see this clinically too, that when the body is already inflamed or sensitive, or even the small exposures to cigarette smell or into that aisles of shopping grocery. Like right now, if I go to the shopping and grocery store, I would avoid those places because it's strong. Especially if I go to a mall, in Sephora. Nothing wrong with the store, but I can really smell from afar. And I'm like, oh my God, it's just like woo. And then in those holiday times, you can already smell them too. And I know culturally, some group would associate a certain smell with the status quo in the society. And for example, I grew up in a culture where it's hot, super hot in the Vietnam area, Asia, and then the weather was so hot. So we sweat a lot. And a lot of us will do a lot of garlic, onion at home. And those are very good nutritional, like herbal foods that can make us sweat. And with the allicin in those herbs, garlic or onion, it will make that sweat gland to become more strong concentration. So therefore, when we go outside, we sweat too much. Therefore, if we have some perfume in, we will smell a little bit better. for the environment outside. And that associated with the wealth and like the status of that you have money. But now when I come closer to the natural medicine, I realize is it actually money or is it actually kill you earlier that we don't know about? And until the age that our body recognize, we start to realize what we do in the young age or whatever society tell us to do, it doesn't really conduce to our healthy lifestyle. And it could be a lesson later in life to learn, but at the same time, the conversation to promote that environmental sustainability is a good conversation to have. Yeah.
And for me, being asthmatic and having allergies, if someone wears a lot of perfumes, I actually can't even sit near them. So if I
Yeah.
come into a room and we have choices of tables, that choice
Hmm.
is made for me if someone wears perfumes or aftershave that's very strong and I
Yeah.
have to sit elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
That's mhm.
there
And
are
that's
places.
require, yeah, the conversation to respect the space and also to respect what sensitivity people have. Not emotionally, not mentally, but what is that capacity where people can really endure the environmental exposure. Because it can feel isolation sometimes too, for sure.
Well, and I have talked to a few people sometimes that wear heavy scents and they don't understand. And so it's question, do you worry about offending them or do you just move away? So I tend to move away because
Hmm.
I don't want to create hard feelings, even though my breathing is, that's beyond my control.
Yeah.
That's not like I just don't like that perfume. It's no, I really can't breathe around that. So I usually
Yeah.
just move further away, but
Yeah.
sometimes you're in predicaments where you can't. So
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that tips and tricks because sometimes that we have a choice in our environment we can control in our home, our bedroom, our children, our family member. They can understand, but for the stranger situation outside, we are the one have a choice to relocate our bodies
mhm.
in different locations. Yeah. And just to ground this conversation, the average woman is exposed to over 168 chemicals per day through personal care products alone. And studies from the Environmental Working Group have shown that many of these ingredients are linked to hormone disruptor, endocrine disruptor that block the estrogen or any other hormone, thyroid hormone, gut hormone from being free to actively working for your body. It can link to allergies, skin conditions such as eczema, psoriasis, any type of impetigo, etc., and even neurological symptoms as an inflammation. So this isn't a small issue. So Kim, what are some of the most common toxic ingredients people are using every day without realizing it that you see in your day to day or your work
I think
that you can share?
most of it's a lot of things that are in cleaners. Bleach really is very, very hard on the lungs, and we have safe cleaners that are better. And I had to give up bleach a long time ago. Um,
Mm.
People think bleach is great. People think bleach wipes, that's one. That people think if you take a bleach wipe and wipe a surface that it's clean, but it really isn't because there has to be contact for a period of time for that to kill anything. And if you look at the back of a bleach wipe, wash your hands thoroughly after you touch this, keep out of reach of children. Like, and we're putting these on the list for kids to take to school to clean their desks, and that it's really not effective. So it's better
Yeah.
to just use a spray that they can put on set and then let it wipe off that doesn't have anything toxic for the kids. Another one that's really harmful is window cleaner. But like, think about that. You're spraying your windows, and I won't use a brand name, but there is one that's very, very popular that happens to be blue that everybody loves. It is the most toxic one out there. So, ours is made with an essential oil. It cleans the windows beautifully. It smells like peppermint when you're done. It keeps bugs and spiders away because they don't like that smell.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about lungs, right? So there's
Hmm.
just little simple things. Cleansers are not good. Laundry detergent for me is not for cleaning your home. I guess it is. But so you think about the detergent that you use, what you are in, whatever you wash 24 hours a day. You're either in your clothes or you're in your sheets. So you're constantly surrounded by your detergent, and it doesn't all leave your sheets and your clothes. Some of it stays in there. And they have a lot of optical brighteners in detergents that aren't good, and they just reflect the light. They don't truly clean. So we have safe laundry detergent.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when I have people say to me, "My kids are itchy," or "I have itchy arms and my body itches," Where do I start? I said, well, try your laundry detergent because sometimes, and I've had success with this, and I don't really know when I meet the person if that's what it is, but it won't hurt them to change their laundry detergent.
Yeah.
So I had a man come to me one day and said, what do I do about my toddler? Like a 3-year-old just itching all the time. One bag of detergent and the toddler was fine. So, but we
Yeah.
also have baby wash and children's shampoo and wash, things like that another thing to think about, a lot of people use Johnson Johnson baby wash, no more tears. That's because there's an anesthesia in there to dull their eyes. It's the same irritant. It just puts an anesthetic on their eyes so that they don't feel it. So it's not a good choice. And it's also what I used on my daughter, right? I didn't know any better. And so as I've learned, I make different choices now.
Yeah.
So, and I do want to mention to you because my headache I solved with Pure Haven and it's really simple, but it changed my life because I was getting ocular migraines toward the end
Yeah.
a few years ago. And so I'd lose my vision. So you're out, you're doing something, and here comes a migraine, then you lose your vision. It's quite inconvenient, painful, but also inconvenient. So when I first joined Pure Haven, I bought a headache stick, simple little stick, looks just like a glue stick. Now, if I get migraines, the Aura, I rub this on my temples, and I haven't had a migraine in 4 years from the time I
Beautiful.
got it. So it's just
Yeah.
amazing to me how this simple little stick that doesn't have toxic things in it, because I can't take aspirin, right?
Yeah.
So I have to find another option. And I do chiropractic care too. It's not, I mean, I don't, my whole life is changed by this stick, but it made a huge
Of course.
impact for me.
Yeah. You
So
share what ingredient is in that stick so people know exactly when
we'll
to
see how
pair
well I can
between.
do that. Find my
Oh,
glasses
I
and get
see.
all of the.
Just for a short time. Because I know sometimes people was told from different company that, oh, my product is clean, our products are clean, don't use the other products. So it's very confusing for the consumer to identify what ingredient to look for versus what ingredient to really extract, because the marketing is out there is going to be a hype anyway. And then my purpose is to make sure, teach the audience and the clients and the patients is when you know your body and you know what your body is sensitive to, then you have a baseline or the foundation to extract or to purchase. Yeah.
Just that started with me with, knowing the words for aspirin. This has peppermint, coconut, sunflower, and it's in beeswax. And to be perfectly honest with you, need a magnifying glass to read the smaller ones.
No worry.
Do you want me to
And
grab
everyone
that?
can, that's completely okay. And I'm pretty sure that people can also go to like search for the ingredient for that Pure
Every one
Haven
of our
for the
one of our products on the website has all the ingredients.
yeah, yeah.
So
And
especially if a person happens to have a peppermint allergy, they would want to know that.
exactly. And
Mhm.
the point is if the audience is the top list, like the beginning of the word, any word start with anything natural, then it's the more of the big percentage in that ingredient list. If they start with something we cannot identify, we cannot even read them, we don't even know what herb that is, then or whatever ingredient, then that potentially the biggest portion of that whole ingredient is the first several words, and then the smaller ingredient percentage is at the end of the list. So that is a good baseline for the audience to catch as well. And one thing that I want to mention, I appreciate you talk about gluten-free products because what we touch is also transferred to our skin, and transdermal is a skin level, and underneath there's a fat layer. Anything that transdermally goes through the skin, it will stay in the fat layer longer because fat tend to have a more longer storage in our body. So in the past, when I do any type of detox for visceral fat reduction, that is a bigger time when any toxin is stored in the fat. When people lose weight, those toxins will expel out in the body and they can feel even more. So when we do those detox, those cleansing activity with the environment and also the body of the visceral fat, we have to be very, very mindful that the more we lose weight, the more we want to make sure that our chemical stored in the fat will also be detoxed as well, or else it's going to stay around the body that much. And the story I had was I loved swimming before I got pregnant, was more active. And every swimming pool I go, the chlorine was so strong. And it comes to the point where I desensitize myself with the chlorine in the pool. So sometimes I don't smell it when I come home, all of my clothes and everything. Like my husband say, that's strong chlorine. Your skin smells like chlorine. Even though I took a shower, it still smelled like chlorine.
Mhm.
And I had such a very itchy skin for a while until my skin doesn't have itchiness anymore. And recently I don't swim anymore, but my husband and I just have a strategy that if we don't have a pool in the gym, what we can do is have our own personal pool or the swim spa. To clean, people can use peat, and peat is a herb. It's black, it's like mud. It will antimicrobial clean your skin or the whole water is as well. And it can be used several times until you trench it out. And in medical school for naturopathic medicine, we do have a class called hydrotherapy, and we have a big tub, all the peat in there, and we do like cold, hot, and we stay there for a long time. So those peat will coming into the skin to detox our body, which is a very natural way.
Oh,
So that is
interesting.
one trick, yeah, that people would do too. Ozonated water is another way to clean out the pool water if we don't want to use a chlorine water. And when the ozone evaporates, it won't be able to stay in the body as much as when we don't breathe in the ozone air. But we can ozonate the water to clean out the water, similar to ozonate the room when no plants, no people, no nothing around, no pets. The room can be very air out in terms of like killing those antimicrobial. And I appreciate to talk about the window cleaner that you have with your products that have essential oil, and that is very, very natural. What we do from home is we went to lavender farm, and they have a type of soil that they extract from lavender, and that hydrosol is the oil ingredient that has some antimicrobial in there. So we spray them with all the natural ingredient instead. Rosemary, thyme, those are antimicrobial that can be extract out as well. And the way that I use for my toilet cleaning is we use that baking soda, and we just spray them around because they are hard enough to really clean a surface. So we don't use any type of the other ingredient that much anymore. Just for ingredient time sake. Yeah.
We have a
And
scrubbing cleanser that's liquefied that I use in mine. And I think
yeah,
it might have rosemary in it. Not sure. Our
yeah.
our stain remover has rosemary.
Stain removal, that is a very important thing because sometimes grease is very difficult to get out. Yeah.
Yep. Our stain remover is it's baking soda and rosemary, and it's a
Uh,
spray, and you can use it also for odors. So
yeah.
in my case, I have a dog with a dog bed, so I can spray her dog bed and not worry about her and take care of control the odor.
Yeah, yeah. And I know sometimes with a deodorant, we have a spray that have salt in them. It's basically salt water, and we use them as a deodorant. And when we turn into more of a plant-based diet, it's just less of the strong odor, except when we eat any garlic onion.
The rule with garlic is everyone in the room has to eat it,
Of
and we
course.
don't smell the other person, right?
Yep, yep. So for someone listening who feels overwhelmed, what are the first three products you would tell them to replace immediately?
I would do detergent and I would do deodorant because I think deodorant's very important. And I don't know, I kind of like personal care, so I would probably pick they could do skincare, they could do shampoo, or if they just felt like today was the day to feel a little bit like spoiling themselves during the transition, I'd do a body wash because we have a nice
Mm.
body wash and you can make a good change and feel good about it too.
Yeah, choose the one that we most use, so therefore our family member can also be benefit from that anti of the chemical sensitivity too. And in your experience, what are some of the marketing claims or labels that people think are safe but actually are not?
I think the one that comes to mind is the pink ribbon that you see on deodorant. They think that that deodorant is not connected to cancer, and what that pink ribbon means is it means they've contributed to cancer research. It
Mm,
has nothing to do with ingredients.
see.
So, and to say natural on something, organic on something, it doesn't have to be 100% in the stores. So, natural flavorings, which doesn't have anything to do we have, but natural flavorings is something to watch out for, just like the word fragrance.
Yeah.
So, and another thing, just because of the timeliness, would be sunscreen.
Sunscreen.
Right now, we've had sun come out, so people are outside and they're starting to use sunscreen, and there are a lot of bad ingredients in sunscreen. So it really should be
True.
zinc oxide and mineral based.
Yeah.
So we carry sunscreen, we carry toothpaste, we've got it covered.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I think that one time I tried to make my own sunscreen of using the normal zinc oxide and then some herb. It doesn't turn out to be normal because of the way of how consistency has to be smooth. Mine was like a clump and stayed right there, and that was it. It was very, very annoying. So I had to really go outside and search for like a clean sunscreen.
Well,
Yeah.
and we have one for the face that also has aloe, and another big word that's good for getting rid of spots. Sorry, I don't. It's starts with an N, and I can't pronounce it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not hard. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But I use that because I have some age spots, and that will help with that. In addition to protecting me from the sun. Then we also, this isn't it, but we have a sun stick like this. So that's really easy for people with kids to carry
Yeah.
around. And with the zinc oxide, it's white when you put it on and you have to rub it on. I think that's a benefit.
It
You
is.
can see where it is and you don't miss a big patch, because I
Yeah.
used to always miss right here in the sun. You just miss that with your sunscreen and then you have a nice triangle burn. So
Hmm.
we've got sunscreen too. So,
Yeah.
and all of our things are formulated and made by our own chemists, and they don't have to wear a mask. They do wear something over their beards or their hair, but they don't have to worry about what they breathe because the ingredients are fine.
That's
And they're all made
beautiful.
in small batches. So,
Yeah, yeah. And zinc oxide is very helpful for any diaper rash for mom and dad out there. And then that is used in the sunscreen ingredient as well as protection for your skin and is a mineral based. And one story that my husband used to work for oil field, when the first training he has, they say, what is the most deadly condition that people would walk out of this field have? And people was like, what is this? We're going to potentially have highly deadly condition when we work in this field. They say cancer because he had to work in a very strong chemically removed or greasy the oil field that they have. And since that time, he completely very into the natural cleaning products for the family just to make sure we can prevent the future generation and protect the environment for sustainability too.
and
Yeah.
especially so many things, they're really easy to change, right? It's real
Mm.
easy to try a new window cleaner. There's simple steps. They shouldn't be so overwhelming. You shouldn't have to go through. I mean, it's my service to people is they don't have to go through and read it all. I have all the information, but we've taken the toxins out. So
Hmm.
it's an easy place. It's the store you can go to, which is not a store, it's online, but
Yeah.
you know where you can buy your best food products,
Mm.
right? So you know what stores you can shop at or what section you can shop in to find what you want. And this just saves some of that confusion to not have to go up and down all those aisles. Because if you go into
Mm.
Target and try to buy a deodorant or a shampoos, we have 6 different kinds of shampoos and conditioner combinations, so we can meet any
Yeah.
hair type, and they're all safe. So,
Beautiful. Lots of choices to make for sure.
mm,
And this is where it really get important from the health perspective because toxins don't just sit in isolation. They affect systems, different body organs that we don't know about. What I see in my clinic is that women come in with hormone imbalance, brain fog, like Kim discussed about migraine headache, fatigue, and also weight resistance because those toxins can stay in the body fat layer and they are doing everything right internally, but the external environment is still driving inflammation. And we know many of these chemicals act as endocrine disruptors, meaning they interfere with hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and thyroid function. So, Kim, from your perspective, how much do you think that everyday toxin exposure is contributing to what women are experiencing today? And you mentioned a little bit earlier that women are doing a lot of cleaning, but I also think about like cosmetic use and perfume for events and party and things like that.
well, it's from experiences with my friends. I learned this later that how much it can have an effect on fertility. So One of the girls that also sells Pure Haven went through a lot and finally had triplets. And
Mm.
then it brought up so much awareness to her. She's cleaned everything she used, right? So now she's clean. What do you know? She has a 2-year-old now too that was no birth control. I mean, no fertility. She got pregnant again. And so there's a number of women that I think maybe are drawn to our company because they have struggled with fertility. And
Yeah.
there's obviously many, many different causes of fertility challenges, but I would hate to think that someone wasn't able to have children because of some of the products they use.
For sure. Few
So
years ago at the anti-aging conference, Dr. Felice Gerst presented the presentation about environmental toxin and fertility. It was really deep, and the more we dig into it, the more we just like, oh my God, what happened to our world? It become kind of sad to see the industry about financial profit more than our health. And when that consciousness is being known, being aware, then we make a different choice. And my husband always told me about that too, of how much he realized the world is very different from what we were born into, especially that we would know before about a goodness. But at the same time, the consciousness and awareness is truly important from one person to another to spread the word. Yeah, and it makes a community. So what do you see the difference in people when they start removing these products from their daily routine? And how long does it typically take for someone to start noticing these changes?
I guess it really depends on the person, but I've actually had someone call me in tears because of the positive change. So she had rosacea on her face and
Yeah.
she had a patch on her cheek and she had for years battled that. And so we have a product called Mom Balm. It's the main use is for nursing mothers because it's safe to put on and your babies are okay, but it also works great on dry skin and cracked heels. And so I said, I'm going to bring you mine and I'm gonna let you try this on your face. And I just took some over to her in a container. And I came home and my phone rang 15 minutes later and she's crying. And I think, my gosh, what happened? And the redness had gone away. It's not permanent, right? She has to have it
Beautiful.
on there, but it relieved all that irritation.
Yeah.
I just love it. And I have people, the headache stick, I get a lot of phone calls on. And we also have a little boo-boo stick, which I think melts my heart when my grandson, he's the youngest of my grandkids, the other day, he goes, Nana, I have a bug bite. Can I have that boo-boo stick? So instead of having them scratch their bug bites or they get infected, he just grabs a boo-boo stick, which has neem, lavender, rosehip, and tea tree. So,
Beautiful.
simple little solution. I carry that in my purse because it works for all those little boo-boos.
Oh,
And so with me or the grandkids, I've used it on all 4 of them.
yeah.
And, but yeah, I love seeing the changes. People see changes in itchy scalp. I think that might be one of the fastest ones when they switch the shampoos. Shampoo, if you're not using a natural shampoo, takes a little bit of time to adapt to, a few weeks, because of all the things that are in the commercial shampoos that are coating your hair to make it feel healthy, but it truly isn't. So when that comes out, it takes a few weeks to adjust, but once it does, your hair is so much healthier and you get more hair growth. So
Yeah.
that's one, but that's not as instant. That takes a little bit of time. And
Mm-hmm.
I honestly believe our collagen also, that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. You don't see your collagen results for a couple of months typically. But we had one lady that actually worked on wells, drills, and her hands were completely crippled up like this, and they're not anymore. She could use
Mm.
her hands. So that's huge to think that could make such a big difference for her. And I know it helps my joints. My
Yeah.
fingernails are so long, I'm always filing them.
Yeah.
Because of collagen, they just grow
It can,
like I was taking it for joints because I had fairly good fingernails, but it works on your hair and your joints and your fingernails and your skin. So, it's from the inside out. And I'm sure you talk to your patients about how early collagen production quits in your body.
yeah.
So it
Yeah.
makes a difference. It's really helped my joints.
Yeah, like
So
30, 40, 50, then every decade. It does reduce our collagen level and our bone density and ligament quite a bit. And because of a low hormone from that progesterone or estrogen level, testosterone level will affect that too. And that's truly important. And I always tell clients, I have a lot of friends and family who work in a nail salon, hairstyle, and they do a lot of chemical hair dye, etc. For the person providing the service and for the person who receiving the service. And if it is the financial obligation to earn the money to pay the bills, right? Then I
Right.
would always recommend the best we can to liver detox from castor oil, topical,
Mm.
pack, any type of thing we can do from home, at least to be as clean as we can. Then the work that we do in the place, either wearing mask or something to really prevent us from smelling those chemicals would be very helpful. But liver detox, gut detox is a very important thing for those chemical intense place that we have to work at. And it does take time until our body tell us no more. We can work in the industry. We have to change a different work or job to make sure we protect our health. Because without health, we spend all the money to really chasing a healthy body. That sometimes it can be too late, and I would say it's never too early to prevent. But sometimes it can be late to prevent. So at least start early would be very helpful. Yeah. And for someone listening right now who's thinking, okay, I need to start, but I don't even know where to begin. And you created something to help with that. Tell us about the pocket guide.
Let me actually pull that out from behind me.
Of course.
This is actually created by our company, but we have what's called this pocket guide to harmful ingredients. And it goes through in here and you open this up and it labels toxic ingredients and what they're the dangers of the toxic ingredients. So it says fragrance, for example, is phthalates, just one of many chemicals legally hidden in the ingredients. Fragrance are linked to birth defects, breast cancer, diabetes, obesity, autism, ADHD. So there's a lot of things, and then it has parabens, triclosan. So this is an educational document that makes very easy for people, which I also have an email form. So if anybody would want this by email, I'm happy to give it to them.
Yeah.
If they're around here, I have them copies of them as well.
Thank
So
you.
that's
Yeah.
easy. And
Talk
this is
about paraben. One story that is when we talk about paraben, I know the estradiol tablet intravascularly insertion for people who have vaginal dryness. I didn't know until I see the ingredient they have methylparaben. And I'm just like, why would a pharmaceutical ingredient have these ingredient that was not very inducing to health? Even like some coating for aspirin can also have some allergic ingredient allergen as well. So we are very, very like mindful about what we put in the body. So I always recommend, hey, there's a two option for compounding, which is very clean. You know what you can put in the body, or the other one that insurance can cover. And people can make a choice. Go ahead. You were about to say
I was
something.
just going to say when it says under parabens have been linked these endocrine disruptors which mimic estrogen. So that's what your
Yeah.
parabens do, and but it's linked to breast cancer, allergic reactions, skin rashes. So I mean, there's things that sometimes, like detergent, you can make it cheaper, you can make more money if you put a lot of fillers in. I mean, I think a good example too is our collagen. There is absolutely no fillers in there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fillers you can collagen products that you can purchase, all kinds of fillers. And I think that's one of the biggest things industry does to make more money that is of danger to us that we just really need to pay attention.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. That's why I do support the small business and very ethical business out there to really keep the circle of sustainability going on. Thank you. And this conversation is such a powerful reminder that health isn't just about what you put in your body. It's also about what you surround your body with every single day. If you've been struggling with symptoms and feel like you're doing everything right, this might be missing piece. Kim is offering a free pocket guide to harmful ingredients, and you can email her to get access. So how can people get in touch with you or know more about what you do?
Okay, my email is kim@nontoxnana.com. And then my website is also nontoxnana.com. So
Thank
whichever
you.
is easiest for them. Yeah, I'm happy to return phone calls, to send out pocket guides, do whatever I can to help people because somebody took the time to help me.
Thank you. Thanks for paying forward. And I will include this information in the description. If this episode opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs to hear it because most people don't even realize this is affecting them. I'm serious about this. As a doctor seeing in office, patient in office, this is happening a lot. And if you're ready to go deeper into understanding your hormone, your health, and your longevity, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.